Hi, English 10 students. Oops, sorry, English 11 students. Welcome to week 5. At the end of this week, we'll be halfway through the quarter. So I'm excited to finish off this journey with you and excited to see what you learn this week. I hiked up here to this deep, dark forest to help you think about this week's assignment, which is Puritan poetry and the Crucible are the things that we're going to be reading. So let's talk about the Crucible briefly. The Crucible takes place in a time and place where people had a lot to be afraid of. They were afraid of those deep, dark woods that surrounded them. They were afraid of what was coming across the mountains or flatlands, depending where they lived. Mostly it was more mountainous. And they were afraid of the diseases. We talked about this last week, about how much they had to be afraid of. And so I thought I'd kind of give you a picture of that to think about that fear that they lived with. And so that's one of the reasons that they were so willing to believe in witches when the witch trials in Salem erupted. Another reason was because of personal gain. It was a lot of politics. If you could get someone next door accused of something that ended up in that person's death or prison sentence, then you could gain. You could get property that was adjoining yours and double the size of your property. You could also accuse someone who you had a grudge against. So it could be a revenge thing. So think about that as you're reading. I highly recommend that you watch the video. It's what got Winona Ryder and Daniel Day-Lewis as the stars. So it's very easy to watch and help you understand the story. Then do the reading. And as you read each week's readings, each act, you'll be better able to understand it and answer the questions. So I really recommend you watch the video first. And then the poetry kind of comes in the middle. There's Puritan poetry we're going to be doing together in class on Wednesday at 9:30. So I hope you attend class because it'll be a lot easier. If you don't attend class and you need help, please come see me in the lab. I'm happy to help you get through that and get that assignment turned in. The mob violence is something we'll be discussing in the online assignment towards the end of the week. And I really want you to think about that, about what mob violence means, this idea of people being charged as witches because of politics or fear and dying from it, and others going along with it for various reasons, but often just because everyone in the group went along with it, so they went along with it too. I want you to think about that. Maybe think about one thing you could put in the answer to this video is a time when maybe you went along with what a group thought or wanted to do just because the group wanted to do it when you knew it was wrong. I also would be happy for you to write about fears that you might have that you've had to overcome so that you can better relate to their fear. But this idea of going along with what others believe and not challenging those beliefs is so important in our daily lives on a personal level and on a whole world current event level. If we would take the time to do the research and critically think through what we believe, we have a much better understanding of the situation. We can form opinions much more clearly, and we can argue for our position, whichever side you fall on, whether or not you agree with me. If you have clear reasons for believing it, and you can give me details to support those opinions, you have a much better argument. So I really want you to think about that and write about that in the online discussion, where you're asked to look at a couple of things that have to do with mob violence and then have a discussion. Challenge each other's perspectives. Don't just go along and say in the discussion, yeah, I totally agree with you. Try to make your discussion a little deeper and more of a discussion. Okay, so I've given you within this video a couple of things that you can write in the answer. And I'm looking forward to seeing what you have to say. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.